In our last video, we set the stage to begin coding our game by setting up a simple testing environment with a starting and ending platform. We also created a new MakeCode project. Let's open our MakeCode project and start our code by considering the basic conditions we want for the player when the game begins. These include starting the game, prompting the player to begin, setting the player's game mode, and clearing any items they may have in their inventory. First, we need a command to let the game know we want to begin. We can use the onChat command block that is already in our code. Since this command will trigger the playing of the game, let's use the word play. We can click into the top of the block and type play. Now that we have a chat command to begin the game, let's tell the player it's time to start. Since the agent is going to be acting as a sort of referee, we can use the say block from the player folder. Let's click on the blue player folder and drag the say block into our onChat command block. We want to tell the player to begin racing to the final platform. So how about ready, set, go? We do not want the player to be in creative mode when the game begins. If they could fly, parkour would not be much of a challenge. To find the code block that changes the player's game mode, we can use the change game mode block. This time, let's use the search bar and see what blocks show up as a result of searching for game mode. Among the results is the change game mode block, which we can add to our chat command to make sure the nearest player is in survival mode when the game starts. Finally, we want to remove any items the player might have in their inventory. There is no specific block to clear items from the player's inventory, but there is the execute block in the player category. Execute blocks work in the same way as slash commands. If you have ever used slash commands in the chat bar, they can be used to change all sorts of conditions for the players and the game world. Clear is a slash command that removes the player's inventory. We can use execute clear to empty the player's inventory. Let's add an execute block from the player folder and type clear. This will run the clear command on the player that begins the game. Let's test our code to make sure that we see the ready, set, go message in the chat, our game mode is changed to survival, and our inventory is cleared. Let's press the play button in our MakeCode window, add a few items to our inventory, and then press T to open the chat bar. We can type play and hit enter to run our code. If we want to test our code again, we can pause our game and switch our game mode back to creative. In this video, we began our code and set some basic conditions for the player at the start of the game. In our next video, we'll implement a way to keep score and maintain certain conditions throughout the running of the parkour course.